Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about the Marvel Multiverse RPG, which was created by Matt Forbeck. It's the inheritor of everything cool from Dungeons & Dragons. It literally lists Gary Gygax on page 2, and it lists on Dungeons & Dragons on the cover. Very cool game. And I want to talk about Session 1 from my Marvel Multiverse RPG campaign. So it started as a one-shot, but the players requested more, which is great. I love that, right? Boy, you want to talk about, a metric for a tabletop role-playing experience, that's the metric. So I was very excited, and so the players chose from the book the characters they wanted to play, and my mnemonic for that is Schwagak, Storm. These are the player characters, Marvel characters, okay? These are the characters that the players chose. Storm, Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Gwen, and last is Carnage. But Carnage has been soul swapped by by non-player character Doctor Strange, and the person inside Carnage has been swapped with a New York detective, right? Excuse me. So at this point, these five heroes come together in Hell's Kitchen in New York, which is a Marvel location. Hell's Kitchen is actually comes from Daredevil, but New York City is a part of Earth 616, and that's where our campaign was taking place. And so Daredevil requests this group of heroes. Actually, Daredevil specifically requests Spider-Gwen's help, and then she calls excuse me. She called in Storm. And then Storm called in Wolverine. And then Wolverine called... Storm called in... Yeah, Wolverine. And then Wolverine brought in Banner, Hulk. And... And then Hulk brought in Carnage, right? So it was... And basically it was making ties between the player characters, which is a good idea. Like, how do these characters know each other? So they all come to Hell's Kitchen to meet Daredevil. He meets them 100 feet below the surface in an abandoned New York City train station underneath Hell's Kitchen, and shows them that there is specifically there's a very real problem, which is there's 10 dead bodies in this abandoned train station, which had been used the night before for a rave. Whew. Excuse me. Boy, I guess we're getting a change of season here. So, my apologies. So, basically, at that point, the characters begin to investigate. Spider-Gwen actually investigates the bodies and finds that each body has 2 puncture wounds, and that every body is exsanguinated. Hulk, because he's super smart, because Bruce Banner is super smart, immediately says this is a vampire situation. And Wolverine says, no problem, I'll track him to the source, right? And so Wolverine uses his sense of smell to track them out, to take all of them out of Hell's Kitchen. He actually follows them on his motorcycle, and everybody else follows Wolverine. And they go about a mile out of Hell's Kitchen, and they find an abandoned textile building. And it's actually 10 p.m., and when they arrive there, the vampires are still sleeping. They really haven't woken up for the day, right? Because the sun is just set, right? And this 14-story abandoned textile building is absolutely filled with vampires. 50 vampires, right? And they're all hanging upside down in the abandoned textile building. And they've specifically made their roost so that during the day, the bricks of this, crumbling building hide them from the sun. They also have 4 normal human, and normal human, I mean the template. And actually, I love this part of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. It's average civilian with 10 hit points, right? And they have submachine guns, and there's 4 of them protecting them on the bottom. So I have 50 vampires against Hulk, Spider-Gwen, Hulk. Storm, Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Gwen, and Carnage. Did I get the ratios right? Absolutely not. So first thing that happens, right, is the Hulk runs over and says, "I grab one of the these humans who arrived at the building. Are any of their vehicles there?" And I'm like, "Yes, there is. One of their vehicles is there." He's like, "I'm going to pick up their car, throw it to the 6th floor, and Storm's going to hit it with lightning." Right? So this thing crashes through floors 5 and 6, immediately killing 5 vampires. Right? And Storm hits it with lightning, blowing up 2 stories up, 2 stories down, and setting bricks coming down, and everything's on fire. And then get this, Spider-Gwen actually puts webbing on the bottom at story 2 in order to catch all the vampires and keep them trapped in this sticky web, right? And then Wolverine literally leaps. Wolverine makes his way up and begins, going, literally climbing up the building and stabbing vampires as he goes. And Storm actually freezes some of the humans with submachine guns, and a huge battle ensues. And here's the only problem, though. This group starts carving through these vampires. And I'm just using, this is the first session of Marvel Multiverse RPG that I've ever run. And I can't get these actually, I was able to get Spider-Gwen down to 5 hit points, right? It's actually called health, down to 5 health. So she was close to death. But I really couldn't get much damage on the rest of them. It was just kind of a mishmash of damage. None of them more than, taking more than 25%. And mostly the Spider-Gwen got injured when that exploded car actually fell on her, right? So the damage that that actually took out Spider-Gwen was actually Hulk and Storm's damage, not my vampire's damage, right? They just didn't have the numbers to really bring it to any of them, right? So I did not plan everything I just talked about. I planned, right? But I had who was it again? Oh yeah, I had Red Skull. I brought in Red Skull. Just literally pulled him out. Just pulled him out, right? Let's put it that way. Unplanned. And he had technological devices which gave mighty to all the vampires, right? And I said, and I had him appear and, said, you realize that there's, these technical devices throughout the building. And then I zapped all the, I had these, devices send out these lasers and zap every single vampire. And then I gave them all Mighty 3, right? Which instantly raises the damage multiplier. And I came close to killing Wolverine after that. Didn't put much damage on anybody else. And at that point, player characters were still able to rout the rest of the vampires, but 2 characters were close to death, and they were able to complete it. And at that point, Captain America came down in a Quinjet and said, "Thank you all. I really appreciate everything you've done here. and I really appreciate you all working together, right? So, and that was it. That was the whole session, and it was fantastic. One of the things I was really excited about was a mixed gender table. We had men and women at the table, which was really awesome, and also it was just 2 hours of 2 hours and 15 minutes of joy. It was really spectacular. So we were able to tell a full, session. The players were interested enough to continue. One of my players has already created a custom character, and actually you'll find that video right here. Has already created a custom character, and I spent 2 hours building that custom character with him. That's a separate video. And then one of my other players has requested to make a custom character, and we'll be running 1 week from now. We'll be running the next sessions. Very exciting. I am extremely excited about the Marvel Multiverse RPG. Do you have this book? Man, it is good. I would love to hear your experiences with it. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.